These are significant moves. Something is happening. We don't know what, but it's big. Well, hello there, my friends. Rafi here from the Endgame Investor with this week's silver report for Arcadia Economics. And yes, it was a tough week for the silver price. It was a tough week for the gold price. It was a tough week for stackers all around the globe. But there is some truly wacky going on at the Comex in the silver stockpiles this week that is basically unprecedented. Big movements. We don't know why, but I think we're about to find out in about 5 business days. Meanwhile, the Treasury has raised about $300 billion, $350 billion. The question is, where is it coming from? We're going to go into the exact numbers and the probable source for where these dollars are coming from to fund the government. They're raising interest rates again in Europe very aggressively. It's going to lead to the biggest banking crisis ever, in my opinion, not very far off from that. And to internalize that none of this is normal and nothing is business as usual. And so let's begin. As always, this week's Silver Report is brought to you by Fortuna Silver Mines, symbol FSM. I wanted to go into effect here, something that is obvious when you look at it in retrospect, but it might not be obvious in real time as price is moving, as things are happening. But if you look at the red line, this is a very simple point. If you look at the red line, which is the 200-week moving average of Fortuna Silver Mines, you will see that this is a 6-year chart going back to January 2017. So 6.5-year chart. The 200-week moving average has basically not moved at all. It is now at about $4. What is it? $4.41. That's basically where it was at in January 2017. And it went as high as, let's say, $4.79, $4.80. So the 200-week moving average has moved from like 480 to 440 to 438, something like that. Point being that yes, day to day, week to week, maybe even month to month, the stock is volatile, as are all gold and silver stocks. But over the long term, over a 200-week average, it is basically stable. And now you could say, yeah, so aren't we losing out on all the inflation for now? Yeah, we are. But that is not going to last for long. These stocks, these companies are by definition money printing central banks, except they don't print it, they mine it. And the world is going to need real money when the inflationary fiat system of the entire world collapses. Money will be in the strongest demand of any other commodity, including food and water. You do not need food and water. Food and water exists. You need a monetary medium to distribute food and water. Otherwise, the food and water that you have will be useless. That's why in a hyperinflationary collapse, mining stocks, in my opinion, will be the central banks of the world. This is essentially a logical necessity. And so for this week's Silver Report, the first question I will go into is, where is the new money coming from? Well, it's not new because the Fed is not printing right now. Money is being drained from somewhere to fund the government. So here we have, where are Treasury dollars coming from? The Treasury is raising a mad amount of money. You can see here exactly how much. This is the latest daily Treasury statement for June 20th, 2023. I am recording this on June 22nd. You are watching it on June 23rd. This is the latest data that I have, that we have $328 billion, $327,925 million exists in the Treasury's bank account at the New York Fed. At the low point on June 2nd, it was $23,368 million. That is a difference of $304,557 million. Where is it coming from? So we go to the next slide to find out. Here we have reverse repos, which have been trending slightly down since June 2nd, but not significantly so. Total reverse repos, if we look at the current number are 2,037,102,000,000 in reverse repos. On June 2nd, when the Treasury statement was at its low of $23 billion, reverse repos outside the banking system, all the leftover money printed from the 2020 lockdown printing insanity, those have gone down from $2.142 trillion on June 2nd to now $2.037 trillion on June 21st. So that is a difference of $105 billion. So assuming that all went into Treasury securities, that's $105 billion. And that is a difference from $304 billion of about $200 billion. So $200 billion of these $305 billion is not coming from reverse repos. It's coming from, therefore, must be bank deposits. So if we take that number, 200 billion, the last number we have for May 31st, just before the Treasury started raising mad amounts of money, is $17.282 trillion. If we take away 200 billion from that, we're at $17.083 trillion, which is a new low for this monetary tightening cycle, and it will continue, which means the money supply is headed down, and it will continue to do so as long as the Treasury continues to sell debt and suck it out of bank deposits. And now, what the hell is going on with silver given this week's smash? We have here a chart of SLV holdings, how much silver supposedly is held by SLV. I'm just assuming it's there. I know that's a controversy, but I got to take the orthodox positions here. I apologize for that. So either short covering or bottom picking in SLV by a big bank. Why do I say that's happening? Well, here you have the big smash from earlier this week when silver was down. I think it was 4.15%. On that day, this little blue line over here, that is the silver holdings of SLV going up by, I think it was 5.5 million ounces, right? So we have here going up by 5.5 million ounces when the SLV ETF itself went down by 4.15%. That means that somebody is putting a bunch of silver into SLV as the ETF falls in value. Now, who can do that? The only parties, the only actors that can do something like that are the authorized participants of SLV, and those are big banks, partners with JP Morgan in this SLV scheme, whatever it is. So we have here, basically, it's either a short covering or it's a big bank picking a bottom. Exactly what it was, you'll have to look into the short interest in SLV, something that I did not do this week, but if you have the numbers, you can look into it yourself. But there isn't much of a practical difference, I don't think, between bottom picking and short covering. Either way, it's a very similar signal, and somebody is buying SLV hand over fist as silver is falling and stuffing the silver into the ETF. Let's move on. This is the same chart. It's a little bit more visually clear what is going on in the past few days. You see here the black line is SLV holdings with this scale over here on the left. And this blue line is SLV price per share price, right? And it's going down. So here, see here an exact inverse. As the holdings go up, the share price goes down during this week's smash. This is a very rare event, and it's not common, which is what rare means. So I'm just being repetitive. Let's move on. Okay, now here's the really weird stuff that went on this week. I reported on this on the Endgame Investor to my subscribers. I have never seen anything like this before. This chart looks normal, but look at the numbers. This is Malca Amit. This is, what is it? I don't know who owns Malca Amit or who stores their silver in that depository, but this is really strange, wacky stuff. You see here, this is the eligible supply of silver in Malca Amit. It's about 3.02 something million ounces if you look at the chart. But if you look at the numbers for the latest June 20th, you'll see here how many ounces are actually left in the eligible stockpile. This is not for sale against futures. 4,766 ounces. That is less, or it's about equal to one single silver contract, which is nominally 5,000 ounces, but it can be up or down by 10% because, you know, as exact as we are in all of our lovely technologies, they haven't figured out to pour an exactly 1,000 ounce silver bar yet for some stupid reason. I don't understand why. But anyway, if we were to take 4,766 ounces, where would that be on this chart? It would be basically minusculely in a microscopic way close to zero, imperceptible, basically what I'm saying here is Malca Amit took its entire silver storage and moved it for sale. Obviously, it's not Malca Amit itself. That's just a vault. Somebody who stores all of its silver, all of their silver, all 3.01 million ounces of it in Malca Amit, just decided to put it all for sale, all on the same day at the same time, and just dump it on the market. Why would they do that, and who is doing that? The other vault to move silver was like 1.8 million, 1.9 million ounces, and that was Manfred, Tordella, and Brooks MTB. That was the vault that I had to mess with when I tried to load out a silver contract, my silver bars, and I couldn't do it. There's big movement on the Comex here, and we're going to see who it is or what it is in a few days. This, if we look, zoom out, this was the largest move, taking MTB and Malca Amit together. It was a drain of 5.614 million ounces in a single day. That is the biggest daily drain of eligible to registered or moving silver from storage to sale in a single day since 2020. Really, I think since July 2020, when they had that big 35 million ounce shuttle by JP Morgan. These are significant moves. Something is happening. We don't know what, but it's big. When will we find out what this movement is for? Well, we have delivery of a major silver contract, July Silver 2023, in 5 business days, and there are 53,604 contracts that remain open with 5 business days to clear. This happens over and over again. There's rollover. It gets frustrating, but I still have never seen an entire vault be emptied of storage in a single day. That is very strange, and it requires attention. And the last thing I want to say is that we are, meaning human society, human civilization, we are on a burning ship. There are signs of insanity everywhere, in every sector, in every profession. It seems like humanity is losing its mind. The education system, the health system, the political system, we're on the verge of what looks to be nuclear war. I pray to God that it will not happen. But the question is, what is it that is driving all of this insanity? And the warp core cleared out. Everything is being censored. Medical, political, educational, or social. But there is one thing that the system doesn't seem to censor or have any interest in censoring, and that is the talk on money and what money is and gold and silver stacking. That is because the system is not really aware of what powers it, at least not in my opinion, which is why they are not censoring us on these topics. That is their weakness. It is their hubris. And therefore, what we have to do is have people understand that the engine that drives all of this insanity to the brink of nuclear war for the entire planet is the monetary system itself. If we can get them to stack and reignite silver squeeze, we can and we will win this battle. It is inevitable. We will win because we are the sane, and the sane always win in the end because the insane, the evil, eat themselves alive. Just keep that in mind. Stay calm, stay censored, stay centered. If you enjoyed this video, then sign up for a 2-week free trial of the Endgame Investor, where you can also support Chris and Yara and Arcadia Economics by doing so. Link in the description below. I will see you guys next week, and the bottom could be in at any time now. Godspeed and keep stacking.